Friday, October 16th, 2013. We are looking at markets here slightly off the highs. Dow up 176. Very nice gain for the day. I want to go and take a look at some ideas on the breakout front, and this assumes that the market is going to continue moving higher. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the names that are moving there. MTG, we're going to take a look at that. We'll take a look at that stock right there, which is breaking out. GST, take a look at DUST, and also take a look at GNW in the financial space. So this is how the markets are looking like. The idea here is one has to assume that the market wants to move higher, even though on a personal front I don't believe this move, just because, and also because it is options expiration. Options expiration week tends to be full of tricks, and sometimes you never know what they're trying to do. Reversals are usually, not usually, but reversals can take place out of nowhere. So even though the market is moving higher, it's good to have ideas on the breakout front again, just because if the markets continue pushing high little by little, you want to have some representation, and the stocks that I'm going to mention here in case the market moves higher should do well. Let's begin with MTG. This is in the mortgage space here, breaking out on a weekly chart above this buy point here, and I think I've highlighted this for you guys a couple of weeks ago, and the breakout point here on the weekly chart is 804. So you'd like it to stay above 804. Now that it's above that level on a weekly breakout, I think I had mentioned this stock from a monthly view earlier on, and the buy point was here with an entry point of 764. So if you can hold above that, this is a stock that is pushing the RSI there to 3-year highs, and I think this one can see the mid-teens next year. MACDs are moving above zero for the first time in a couple of years, which is good, and we have the other MACD very close, if not already at breakout modes and trying to cross over again. So minimum requirements are met there in the financial space. Take a look at MTG. The other one also that I have for you here is one that I spoke about this weekend, is Morgan Stanley. As you can see, Morgan Stanley here, one could argue that this seems to be a cup handle breakout formation. Entry point somewhere around here, this weekly closing high there, and that would be at a weekly closing high of 28.19. so 28.19 is where it needs to defend. If Morgan Stanley can stay above that, this one could see the higher 30s, lower 40s in the next 6 to 9 months. Over the weekend I spoke about Morgan Stanley moving out of this breakout range on a monthly chart, entry point being this previous monthly closing high, move above that, and that would be at a price of about, should I have this right, 27.21. So if we can hold above that, Morgan Stanley could do well. And also notice that the RSI is making a 3-year high, which is good, and you see that the MACDs are also close to 3-year highs there, crossing over, and here we see 3-year highs and also moving above zero. So this could be where Morgan Stanley starts moving, so keep an eye on that one also. If you're taking a look at the same space, financial space here, let's take a look at GNW, and on a weekly time frame, looking to break out here. Needs to hold above 1329, which is that weekly closing high. Needs to hold above that, so 1329. This one could see the mid-20s or higher 20s sometime next year in a good market. On the monthly, you see that it is very close to a 3-year high, or moving to 3-year highs there. The entry point on a monthly chart is at a price of $12.99, so $13, so pretty much $13. This range right here needs to hold above that if it's to do well over the next couple of months for you. Take a look at the MACDs. The MACD show that it is just like the rest of the other stocks I mentioned in this video here, moving above 0, 3-year highs, already at 3-year highs here. So the MACDs meet our minimum requirements. That's why it's on the list. So take a look at GNW. All of these are kind of in the same space, financial mortgage space. Now if you're looking for a speculative name in this space, you know, MTG, GNW, this is the way I would go about it. Is if you're looking for some speculation, take a look at FNMA. Why? Because I like these sharp angles here. It tells me that a spike could really make this thing move higher, because they tend to do the same thing when they're moving, have sharp spikes. If that's the history, I'm looking at this from a daily view. And daily view here, you see that there is a congestion here. The highest close here on a daily basis is 163. That's where it's trading at. So 163, it's got a couple of closes above that level. So I would own this stock if it moves, let's say, above 165, just to show that it's breaking out. 165, 166 is where it would show that it's trying to move above this level. That would also be an RSI breakout there. If it breaks about 166, 167, or at least a daily close above 163 is where the trigger point, it's trading there. But I really wanted to show potential by moving slightly above this highs for the day, about 164. So 166 at 165, it's going to show me that it's getting ready to move. And the reason why it could really spike is because you see that previously it's had these nice spikes here, spike there, spike here, spike here, and a major spike there. So maybe it wants to do the same thing. So take a look at this, and if you're looking for a speculative play in the financial space, want to put some money there, this is the way to go. I believe this one could do well if it breaks out and if the market is to continue moving higher. So change here and go to, let's take a look at an energy name, and this is GST. I think I've been talking about this one ever since it broke out here, I believe so, or maybe even here. Not quite sure which breakout, but we've been playing this for a while. Already looking at the RSI making 3-year highs. I like this one from a weekly standpoint. If you want some representation in the energy space, take a look at this one breaking out here above this weekly closing high of about 425. So 4.25. If you're looking for energy name, small cap, this is the way to go. It needs to hold above that weekly closing high. I think this one could see the 8s, the 9s sometime next year if this market is to continue staying stable or moving higher. Switch gears here quickly is I want to talk about the moving averages here. I spoke about over the last couple of weeks or so about the fact that we had seen the moving averages here make a new 52-week low on the GDX, and we see that now on a weekly time frame we already closed at new 52-week lows on a weekly closing standpoint. So if we take a look at the GLD, it's probably doing the same thing as the GDX, because right now I'm seeing that the moving averages here on the GLD are making a 52-week low, which suggests to me that if the moving averages is making a 52-week low, then more than likely the GLD is going to have to move to this 117, 118 price range so that it can also make a fresh 52-week price closing low. In other words, if the moving averages are already breaking new lows, price might follow. So I think we should continue looking at this space for ideas, and I'm gonna go back to the same ideas I've been talking about here. Remember, if you already own this on the short side, then you don't need to change what you own. If you're looking for new entry points, take a look at what I have to say here. Anybody looking to go and initiate fresh buy points here is what I would do. If you want to have a fresh entry into this space, wait for the DUST to move above 42.23. Why? This is this daily closing high. So if this instrument breaks out above this 42.23 price range here on the daily chart, it could suggest that it is breaking out again short term, and my price target would be in the 60s here somewhere. This high is here short term 60s, even 65 would be a nice entry point. Even this breakout point here, higher 50s to lower 60s would be my initial price target if it can break out above 42 23. The other way to take a look at this is to own silver on the short side, and it is to own the DSLV. And if the DSLV is to do well for you, it needs to break out. If you want to enter this instrument, wait for it to break out above 46.83, which is this daily closing high there, where it's been stalling lately. It stalled here at this level a couple times, had a big sell-off there, closed there at 46.83, and recently struggling to hold above that. But if it can move above this level here, if you see the prices finally find their way above this level, then you might initiate an entry into that area. My price target would be this break point here, about 67, 68 short term. So wait for it to break out above 46.83 as an entry point and a trigger point. So I've given you some ideas. I know there are many, but try and diversify your portfolio as much as possible. Eric Moore, good luck, peace, and blessings.